What's up, y'all? It's popping. It's D. About to react to this vid by Hello Yassine. This is She Refused to Snitch and Went to Prison for It. So this is about Lil Kim, and they got Gunna in the thing. That's so trifling. I honestly don't know what to think about the whole Gunna situation. I don't know the details of the case, so I don't know if he actually snitched. People are saying he did, and then he's saying he didn't. So I don't know what's going on, but sure, we're gonna see what happened with Lil Kim, though. Let's watch.
The topic of snitching, telling, whatever you want to call it, is at the forefront of hip-hop right now. But it reminded me of an event 2 decades ago. In 2001, Lil Kim found herself caught in a shootout in Manhattan. With 20 bullets flying from both sides, the shootout was brought to court, and Lil Kim was asked to testify under oath and could end up in prison if she failed to tell the truth. But while facing a federal grand jury, something crazy happened. One of the most legendary beefs in hip-hop was between Lil Kim and Foxy Brown, both of which even went to the same high school together. The tension primarily came from their membership of 2 rival groups. Lil Kim was with Junior Mafia, whereas Foxy Brown was with The Firm. In February of 2001, Lil Kim did an interview with Hot 97. She was leaving the building and was accompanied by her manager D-Rock and her bodyguard. The doors of Hot 97 regularly have famous rappers crossing paths, and Lil Kim found herself walking past Capone and Nori, both of which were affiliated with Foxy Brown. They had a song called Bang Bang, which featured Foxy taking shots at Lil Kim. A back and forth of words were exchanged, but this sadly escalated into a shootout. One man in Capone and Nori's entourage was wounded, but thankfully that was the height of it. The police arrived, and Lil Kim's manager and her bodyguard were taken to court for weapons charges, and Kim was taken to the stand as a witness. She was, after all, on the radio just before this all happened. However, in front of a federal grand jury, she told the courtroom that her bodyguard and manager were not there that night. She had covered for her friends and refused to snitch. This was clearly a risk she was willing to take and suffer the consequences. And hopefully, so long as everyone didn't tell the police anything, she assumed she was safe.
Well,
but unfortunately for Kim, there was video footage from that night of Lil Kim's manager opening the door for her, the people that she said she didn't know. Standing beside them was also her bodyguard, who she claimed wasn't with her either. There was indisputable evidence that Kim had committed perjury, or lied in court under oath. She was charged with conspiracy to commit perjury, making false statements, and obstructing justice. The worst case scenario for her now was 20 years behind bars.
Damn.
This behavior was far from the norm. And for Lil Kim, especially as a woman, it was particularly unbelievable, even today. Snitching is something that's traditionally viewed as gang activity, usually the most common being men that are involved in it. So it's a real upfront thing for Lil Kim to, what some people may consider dumb, but very attuned to her value system, for her to really take one on the chin and not tell on anybody.
So many different
It's incredibly ironic, too, that the most manly person around this whole event was a woman. I mean, what is snitching exactly? Not to go into it too much, but usually it refers to someone going to the police to report or tell something on someone that was accompanying them during a crime, and then they sell them out so they don't serve any time or get a reduced sentence. It's more become colloquially known as, hey, this person shouldn't be talking to police because they're involved in gang or street life, and giving them any type of statements that could lead any investigation forward would also be telling. Lil Cease, though, was Biggie's hype man and a respected member of Junior Mafia, but when he was testifying in Kim's perjury trial, he had a falling out with Kim. Lil Cease told MTV at the time, "Me and Kim wasn't on good terms for the moment, and she made it clear to the world that she didn't want to have anything to do with me and my peoples. So she wasn't trying to call us to her defense. Being that we was witnesses there, the U.S. government subpoenaed us, and there's nothing you can do about that. When you're subpoenaed, you..."
True, but like I have said before, they cannot force you to say shit. They cannot really force you to testify and say some shit that you don't want to say. They can't. You could easily, I don't know. Damn, I don't remember. This was traumatizing. It happened so fast. There's so many things that you could say. And they cannot prove that you lying about that unless you give them some facts like, oh no, they wasn't there, he wasn't there, I didn't see. Then okay, that's something that they can dispute. They got cameras. But if you play stupid, wait, what's going on? Wait, I think I might need to see a doctor. I'm suffering from amnesia right now. I don't recall. They can't prove shit. That's all I'm saying.
Either come or...
I'm just speaking for them though, because they be acting like they ain't some street shit. I'm snitching, so let's be fucking clear. I'm not saying what nobody should or shouldn't do. I'm just saying what the options are. I'm snitching on everybody.
They take your ass to jail. It's just that simple. So Lil Cease simply told the court what happened and proved that Lil Kim had committed perjury. And Lil Cease argued that the same thing could have happened to him if he didn't tell the truth. He said, these federal people knew everything. They had phone taps. They had the video cameras from the shooting at Hot 97. They had that all on tape. 2 weeks after Lil Cease testified and 2 months before Lil Kim was scheduled for a prison sentence, she decided to hit back. She filed a $6 million civil lawsuit against Lil Cease for using her image without her permission in an upcoming DVD, The Chronicles of Junior Mafia, Part 2, Reloaded. Without getting Kim's permission, this constituted false advertising and false endorsement. Cease had also allegedly tried to stage interviews with other Junior Mafia members about Kim's trial. It was Lil Kim's way of getting back at him and letting him know what she thought.
No, he does.
Lil Cease maintained his position that he's not a snitch and said that Kim should have gone for a plea bargain. This is when, instead of doing a trial in front of the jury, you plead guilty up front and receive a much more lenient sentence. The fact that Lil Kim brought this to a trial too shows that she must have had confidence or delusion in her case and her lawyer. And she probably did have a good lawyer because she only ended up getting 1 year in prison. But perhaps more importantly, she came out of prison with her integrity completely intact. There was nothing anyone could say to throw dirt on her name. Snitching is something that could, or at one point, ruined your rap career and possibly put you in harm's way. But it doesn't seem to be the case anymore with a couple of other people who have been exposed for telling as of late. When we think of a rapper telling, the first person who comes into mind now is Takashi 6ix9ine. He admitted to the federal government that he was a member of the 9 Trey gang who would rob people at gunpoint, and cooperating with the law, taking the stand, he could basically buy back his entire life. He was initially expecting up to 47 years behind bars, and then managed to cut that down to 2. Yes, it was supposed to affect his safety outside, to which people thought he would go into witness protection, but that wasn't the case. Did it affect his music career? Yes, but he obviously preferred it over 5 decades behind bars. And some people are even bringing up the argument now that perhaps it wasn't the fact that he told that ruined his music career, but the fact that people didn't like him and he told, because that brings a connection to the next individual, which is Gunna. In the eyes of the people, a more debatable example of telling comes from him. Unlike Lil Kim, he went down the plea deal route and has had mixed results. As you probably know, most of the artists on the YSL label have been arrested for RICO charges or racketeering. But Gunna seems to have been given preferential treatment. Being the first one to take a plea, a bunch of people have put 2 and 2 together and believe that he cooperated with law enforcement. Even the video footage is out there. He got 500 hours of community service where he'll talk to kids about the dangers of gang violence, which is clearly way better than being locked up. The video that released of Gunna was him answering questions and telling a judge that he knew that YSL was more than just a music label and a gang that needed to end. Most people consider any form of cooperation with law enforcement as snitching, but Gunna claims that this was not the case. He's saying that through his plea deal route, or the team around him, is that everything Gunna told the court was not testimony, and his statements in this court can't be used as evidence for anything else. So, supposedly, Gunna's response to these questions doesn't affect the trials of other members of YSL, but he is a state's witness, and if they do go to court, he has to get on the stand and tell the truth. Otherwise, he'll face the same fate as Lil Kim. But to put Lil Kim's refusal to tell in a better perspective, let's take an example of another female rapper who was being accused of telling, Megan Thee Stallion. She was driving home from a party with Tory Lanez. At some point, Tory was found guilty of allegedly shooting her in both feet. The police arrived and she said she lied to the police that it wasn't Tory to protect him. However, she was changing her mind through social media, eventually telling people that he did shoot her. And then when she ended up showing to the court case to testify, Megan Thee Stallion seems to draw the line at the same spot that Lil Cease does. She was happy to lie to the police on the scene, but on social media and later on in front of a packed courtroom where her word could be held against her, she decided to tell the truth. And this has received mixed responses. A lot of the report for Megan Thee Stallion argues that she's a citizen, which Lil Kim was in the same way. If you're not a part of a criminal gang or not a part of the crime, then the laws of snitching don't apply.
No, Lil Kim was around the hella hood niggas. So I would say that's totally different. So she definitely has that street mentality of like not snitching. Meg, no.
The argument came from Whack 100, who posted a picture on Instagram which read, Megan Thee Stallion is a civilian. She can't be classified as a snitch. Civilians tell the truth.
Period.
He interestingly captioned the picture with, my daughter is raised the same way, hashtag not guilty.
And
stop trying
she was
to
shot.
ice
It's not like
rules
she...
on a kickball field, which is a fair take from someone who's actually involved in that lifestyle. But perhaps things are just different now. When Lil Kim was coming up, she wanted to be seen on the same level and playing field as other men, both creatively, artistically,
she looked like a
rapping ability, and being able to hold her own on things outside of the music. There were incredibly few female rappers around when she came up, so she fought long and hard to give female rappers the respect and credit that they get today.
No shade, it's a fucking fact.
So Lil Kim perhaps didn't see herself as a citizen that was separate from what was happening, and she'd rather lie and potentially risk prison so people didn't think any differently. 16 years from those courtroom dramas, though, Lil Kim and Lil Cease met once again, and under better circumstances. They were both celebrating what would have been the 47th birthday of their former close friend, Biggie Smalls. Lil Cease apologized to Lil Kim, and they buried the hatchet. Hip-hop is often defined by beefs and moments of conflict, but this was a beautiful moment of old friends reconnecting. Despite her having the right to not accept his apology, considering it helped land her in prison. Lil Kim's place has been firmly cemented in hip-hop history for her contribution to rap and fashion, but she should also go down as the female rapper who never snitched in the face of a lot of time, 20 years, when we have male rappers who claim to be gangsters that are telling.
Exactly. That's exactly how I feel about that. Like, people always have the stupid argument that, well, you would snitch too. Duh, I would snitch. I'm not rapping about how I'm hood and I'm doing this, and that, and the code, street code, and my brothers. I'm not rapping about that. So, duh, we basic regular niggas are gonna snitch. We talking about them. And it's just, it doesn't match the lifestyle that you present to the people, okay? And of course, all this rap shit is fake. We all know that. But still, when it's right in front of our faces and we're being shown how fake you are and how fake this is, it's just like, you know? I'm still gonna listen to Gunna personally because I don't give a fuck about any of this. He can snitch on everybody. Well, no, because I do like Young Thug a lot better. So, that does suck. But I'm still gonna listen. What was I gonna say? Oh, yeah, about the whole perjury thing. Like I said, I feel like there are ways to get on the stand and not actually testify, not actually snitch. Of course, you have to show up, but again, they cannot force you to say shit. And, you know, people were talking about Kelsey on the Meg and Tory case, but I honestly don't think that she'll get in trouble for what she said because she did a lot of I don't recall and oh, that was a while ago. I don't remember, you know, I was drinking. They cannot prove that she's lying about that. People can forget shit, especially surrounding a traumatic event. It's very possible that you could, you know, forget some stuff, especially when you're drinking. So, again, there are ways around getting on the stand but still not snitching. And I think she did that really well. She frustrated a lot of people. It was annoying because we wanted the tea, but I feel like it was kind of smart on her end because she didn't actually say anything. She didn't give us nothing, really. But anyway, that's my opinion on this whole situation. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.